Well, hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30-plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst, and today for July 29th, 2025, I'll run through the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, etc., etc. A Ultronymous Robert Westfall, interesting Ultronymous that Robert sniped first. Normally, in fact, Ultronymous, you were probably the first one here, but it's cool that Robert joined. Um, that's really cool. Another ominous one. Yeah, so this is from a game that I was actually just playing yesterday. I'll talk about 80s Overdrive. It's a synthwave track. It's a kind of a synthwave game. It's kind of an outrun game. It's interesting that the game is pretty much what started this whole kind of synthwave movement, I think, and maybe I'm wrong about that, but we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, let's get into it. I think I could just get into what I've been playing. I don't think I have any other preamble or anything. But okay, so yesterday was actually pretty fun, I got to say, because for a Monday, just thinking about what my normal schedule is like, there wasn't a lot, that had to go on Monday because between work and then wife and I have our workout days. Monday is not a workout day. So after work, it felt good just going into the living room, sitting on the couch, and playing some video games. So, what did I start with? Playing some Mario Kart, just going through to unlock some more costumes, and then I realized as you complete the various cups, you actually unlock completely new characters. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do that. So I played a little bit of that, played with my wife. We had fun doing that. And then also Gundam Battle Operation to played some more of that because I'm trying to do the daily rolls to see what free stuff I can get. So far, it's been things I already have, so I'm just getting the RTs, the refund tickets. There's a name for it. Anyway, and so, but the idea is, I guess on Thursday when the new event drops, you're going to be able to use those tickets to buy some suits they'll have available. So it might work out. I don't know. There's some suits that I just want to get, like the Gundam EX, the what are some other, there were some other UC ones that I haven't got yet, but anyway, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm saying. I got another Fenix, which helped finish the mechanic thing for it. You know what? I did too. I feel like we're always getting the same suits, and that might be how the RNG is working right now. Also, I was curious if there's a certain suit you're trying to get that you haven't been able to yet. Because again, for me, it's like the Gundam EX probably. I mean, I love that they have the F91 and Crossbone. Oh, gosh. That's a lot of work. So anyway, I'm just jumping in and out of playing some Gundam Battle Operation to hopefully get those suits I want to play with. And then, I miss the days when I would play with people from the server, Gundam Explain server, and we would play. It's just I get my fill and then I'm done. But I want to get back into that. Talos, Ian, Sway. I think those are the main, but yeah, a lot of fun doing that. Okay. Another game, Strike Mission. So I was confused thinking this was another game, although it's still the same game. So I want to say there's right now 3 either released or about to be released Desert Strike clones. And I have one of them. It was that Megacopter, it's actually pretty good. It's interesting because I was just realizing I was just watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and it does the Aztec mask thing. And I just realized that Megacopter game, also its background is some Aztec blood sacrifices that you do to get powers. So find that interesting how that's coming up a lot. There might be something more to that in our ancient history. I'm totally into that, so I'll look that up later, though. Anyway, Strike Mission itself, it's not bad, but it's almost like someone just straight up made Desert Strike. Not in terms of the graphics, because it's 3D polygon work, but in terms of its kind of simplicity, where it is just go here, shoot this, go here, pick up that. And it's a rough around the edges, but I also only paid like $1 or $3 for it. I feel like Strike Mission is completely worth your time. I mean, especially if you're into that sort of thing. Actually, let me put Steam. Yeah, $2.99 right now, and it's normally $4.99. So to be honest, either way, I think you're going to get value out of this. You can see the reviews are mixed. It is 10 reviews, and I get it. But it's not bad. It's not bad. This for the price, I think you can have a good time. I'm trying to find the other game that what was, let me go to wish list real quick because I'm pretty sure I have it on my wish list. There's that Toxic Crusaders that got a date, December 3rd. Okay. Yeah, there's a mix of things here. What if I did it by release date? There we go. And let me. Oh, Gradius Origins. Can't wait for that later this year. Okay, just give me a moment. Because I got to figure this out myself personally. Yeah, that's right. I put an Elf on the Shelf game on my wish list. Come Christmas, family, we're going to go through that. Okay. Cleared Hot is the one I'm thinking of. So Cleared Hot has a demo. Cleared Hot, I think, is the... Yeah, there we go. Megacopter. There's the other one. Cleared Hot is, out of these three, the main, I would say, the big budget. Microprose, I don't know if they have the same pedigree as before, but this is the main one. In my opinion, Cleared Hot is the main Desert Strike clone to get. Megacopter is fun. It's a little more... Actually, this uses traditional 2D pixel graphics instead of the 3D. This one definitely is a little more interesting in terms of modernizing or adding a bunch of other stuff. But to kind of end what my point is here with all this, I was just playing Strike Mission, and it is the lesser, but it's only $4.99. Diablo 4, I jumped in real quick to see if I could play co-op with my wife, but she didn't like the way it looked. So we just didn't play it. I kind of feel like she would like it just because it's about, getting loot, dressing up your character, and then getting us equipped to go out together in battle. I don't know. I tried. Okay, and then this 80s Overdrive. So, oh, hey. Autonomous, yes, I did play Megacopter on stream. And Jeb Killex, good to see you. Okay, Autonomous, honestly, the main suits I wanted are the PC exclusive ones I can't use otherwise, probably. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Autonomous, and I think maybe you brought this up or someone else, they're going to be putting those AU suits on PlayStation. If I'm not mistaken. That's what made me go, okay, then I'm really just going to be all in on PlayStation. Anyway, but... okay, so this 80s Overdrive game. So I bought it, I don't know when. It was on sale. It looked like something I'd like. It's like Outrun. It's pretty much Outrun. And it just, when I played it, it didn't jive with me, so I just moved on. And then I just decided to play it again. And funny enough, actually, since I'd first played it, apparently it had some updates to fix some things. Because, man, when I was playing last night, that 43 minutes, that's me playing 43 minutes straight. I mean, I played a level once a long time ago. It was about a minute or two. Anyway, I really like this game. In fact, I might even play it here in a second because there's this thing where it seems like they've made some Xbox games be able to be played on. That's funny. It does say Windows 10 here. Xbox games to be played on Windows. We'll get to that here in a second too. Something I was surprised about. Okay. Yeah, so this 80s Overdrive, it's interesting. So back in the late 2010, late 2000s, early 2010s, Kavinsky had his music come out that was very interesting because it was synth heavy, but it leaned to 80s synth sound. And then I saw the Yu Suzuki, the guy who made Outrun, was holding a Kavinsky album called Outrun, and I'm like, wow, this is all like Outrun, that was 80s, and it had that look to it, Kavinsky. And then that's when it popped into my mind that this synth wave existed. I forget what I called it back then, but it was before the synth. I think I just called it Outrun, but it was before the synth wave term came about. And so anyway, playing this 80s Overdrive is pretty much just a callback to kind of where this all came from. Anyway, it's a very fun game, has really good music, and it just has a good setup with it where you either win a race in first place or you just beat the race. And then it's the color of the star telling you what you've done. So you go through, do that. You get money to buy parts for your cars, buy other cars. You have to pay for repairs, pay for fuel. It's a pretty neat setup. I might show a little bit of it later. Okay. And then Bayonetta, I had beaten it on Xbox. But I guess back when I did, maybe it didn't have achievements. I find that to be very interesting. Unless I ended up beating it on another platform and I forget. Anyway, just jumped into some Bayonetta, had some fun. Great game. It holds up 100%. It holds up. Could look better, but it holds up. And actually, I wonder if it looks better on PC. Actually, let me just try something real quick. Yeah, it's not even showing, and it's obvious the Bayonetta 2 on Wii U because it doesn't have that connectivity. But and really, I want to play Bayonetta 3. That's the thing, and it's interesting because it's like, man, I don't know if I want to pay $60 for this game, but then my youngest wants to buy Smash Brothers on Switch 2, and so he's got money for that. But what we're going to do is the voucher program. So, Switch, if you have Nintendo Online, you can do the voucher program where you buy this $99 voucher and allows you to pick 2 games. So then they come out to be cheaper. So we'll probably do that just to save some money. Yeah. I'll try. Yeah. So I beat Bayonetta 2 on Wii U, and then I played Bayonetta 3 on the Switch, and it ran like crap. So, and it's just so funny how it's all come together, because I remember when Tears of the Kingdom came about, I was like, yeah, this is not good. I'm going to wait for Switch 2, because historically I've always done that. What was it? Twilight Princess. It was on GameCube, and then it was Wii, and then you had Breath of the Wild on Wii U, and then it gets re-released on Switch, and then even Skyward Sword, the superior version, was on Wii U, and I'm pretty sure it was Wii U. And so I guess it just the FOMO of Nintendo games for me just went away, and it was like, yeah, I can wait and play. I don't want to play Bayonetta 3 on the Switch. It's like it drops under 30. Too much, too much. And so I feel like this has just been a great time now with the Switch to get back into those games. Apparently, the new Calamity, Hyrule Warriors, whatever, is going to be announced soon, and that might mean the update for the previous one. So we'll see. And you know what? I know it seems sad that Nintendo's got it locked down, but I feel like that is a thing that Nintendo can have, I guess, even though they don't need to, but I guess other than a Mario or Donkey Kong or Kirby, Although I am about the multi-platform, though, I gotta say. And then this other one, King of Fighters Sky Stage, I've played it before, and I just kind of moved on, but this I kind of stuck with. So that's pretty cool that I got these achievements. I did not know I did, and it's not letting me see what these other ones are. I can click these others. Yes, I don't know what that means. These are probably the stages I beat, I guess, because this says cleared stage 5, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's a fun shmup. It's a vertical shmup. It doesn't play anything unique except the levels are pretty short, because the idea is it's set up like a fighting game. So really the boss is one of the characters. It's a hard bullet hell shmup. Like I said, it's kind of short, and it's really just about dodging the bullets. I know they all are, but this is like that too much, so. Anonymous, I'm not totally against exclusive games. It just hurts a bit since it started multi-platform, then became exclusive only. Yeah, I know. That's where, because it's almost like, it's not like Nintendo made the game. It reminds me of Bandai Namco and Elden Ring, right? They're all pushing everything Elden Ring, but they didn't make it, and they have IPs they could be pushing. So I get that. I totally do. And I'd rather be again, like when Bayonetta 3 came out, I'd rather play that on a modern console than on a Switch, so kind of crazy. But okay, let's move on to some news. Sony Interactive Entertainment Fightstick officially named Flex Strike. So that's pretty cool that they're coming out with a wireless fight stick, although they've done this before. I have a Mad Catz fight stick. It's actually up in the attic, and I haven't used it in forever. And I think I've kind of gone past fight sticks. I really like fighting games, and there was a time where the fight stick, it was all about the fight stick, especially 360 era. Any fighting game I was playing on the 360, I was using a fight stick. And then I guess just something happened over time where I think it's just the ease of use. I'm playing a game, just have my controller out. And then if a D-pad is really good, like the Xbox D-pads have always been pretty good. The D-pads on these, newer modern controllers that you can get on PC have been really good, to where it's like, it reminds me of the days on the Sega Genesis. Again, between Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, it seemed like the Sega Genesis, I had more fun with the fighting games, because it had Street Fighter, even though it wasn't the best version, but it also had Mortal Kombat. When you consider it 32X, it had the Virtua Fighter. I mean, there was Virtua Fighter also on Genesis, but it was like a pixel version. And there was Eternal Champions, there was Cosmic Carnage. Genesis had in 32X, Sega CD, etc. Yeah, Final Fight CD, Mortal Kombat CD. Lots of good fighting games. And that Genesis controller D-pad is excellent. It's that circular pad that's kind of floaty for your quarter circles. So I feel like over time, and the only reason the fight stick exists the way it is because back in the day, games were controlled by joysticks. So in the arcade, you just had a joystick. In the arcade, it doesn't make sense to have a D-pad for your thumb. So I think that doesn't mean one's more superior than the other. In fact, I think there was a recent fighting game tournament where someone won with a traditional gamepad, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. I think wireless will be cool for normal people, but I don't think pro FGC players will go for it. Yeah, that is an excellent point, because you can tell latency for some things. And I think, I want to say, isn't between PlayStation and Switch one of the worst when it comes to the latency, I think? I don't know. That's because, Microsoft has their own proprietary wireless, and I think that's why it's known to be a little better. But it's one of those things where I think you can only really notice it if you're like a pro player or something. I know there's times I've noticed it in a game or two, and I can't really think recently, but I probably won't get this, but I think it's cool that they made it. Okay, Xbox PC app now lets you stream your own games, including console exclusives. This is a huge deal that just inflated everyone's libraries. If you bought Xbox games and you're worried, oh, my games are going to be absolutely obsolete. No, because you'll be able to play them on PC. So I was just testing it out, and I don't own many. How do I word it? I guess I don't own many Xbox games. It's always been, it's like older backwards compatible games that they have to eventually get all that on here. But for instance, I had the Lego Skywalker Saga. I bought that back when it came out. I think it was 2022 on Xbox. And if I go to, like cloud playable. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not showing the app. Let me, if I go to cloud playable, it's now an option in here that I could stream even Mortal Kombat 11, Recore, which might have been Play Anywhere anyway. Maybe the Aliens Fireteam Elite, Play with Cloud available with, or install. It's letting me install. Maybe this was a Play Anywhere too. But anyway, this is just a big deal because I like that they are slowly making it to where you could play all your Xbox games across any platform or service. And that's something they've been working on, and we know they have. And then you see Sony with just announced recently, or not announced, but you saw the LinkedIn posts or resumes of people that are working to do that with PlayStation. So that's just more fuel for the fire, but a good fire, right? It's like a campfire. Okay. Oh, yeah, I was checking out Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. So that comes out July 31st. It's $25. I'm totally gonna get this, but I'm not too sure what platform I was gonna get it on because my default's PC. But if it's Xbox and it's Play Anywhere, then I would wanna just buy it that way. But then I have a Switch 2, which this game would be able to run perfectly fine on, and then I could take my Switch 2 anywhere, but I could take the ROG Ally anywhere. And I like the ROG Ally controls better than the Switch 2 controls, like the Joy-Cons. And these are those gamer problems, right? When it's like, where and how should I play the game? But regardless, I'll be getting it when it comes out. I'm just not too sure what platform. All right, here's another interesting one. Let's see, Nintendo. On Nintendo Switch Online, they've added Mario Paint, which is pretty cool. This was from the Super Nintendo, if you guys remember, and it had that mouse that you could use. I had played it back in the day, but I never owned it. I forgot how I played it. It must have been a friend's house or something, but it was not my thing at all. I did not care. But I kind of do now for a couple reasons. One, apparently it has a music maker in it, and I had no idea. Well, I had no idea back in the day, but I think I did shortly after that, but I still didn't care too much. But now it seems interesting to play around with, especially because you can use the Joy-Con as a mouse. So just, that's a functionality that the Switch 2 has with the Joy-Con. And you can take the Joy-Con, turn it, and then use it as a mouse. Now, Mario Paint on Switch 1, apparently you can plug in, I think it says it here, a USB mouse. So you could plug in a USB mouse into the Switch 1 and be able to play Mario Paint, which is cool that they have that available. Because the Switch 1 is now considered out of date. People kind of have moved on, but the fact that the Switch still allows you to do that stuff, that's pretty cool. I had Mario Paint as a kid, but no mouse, so I just had to watch the demo on loop. Oh, wow, really? I had no idea it was like that. Wow. Yes. So anyway, I think this is really cool. I'll probably try it later. One thing when I was testing out the mouse on the Switch 2, I kind of like how easy it is to use because I can kind of just sit there and when I'm on the couch and I have the armrest, I could just put the mouse on the armrest. How can I do it where you guys can see? You know what? It's just performative. So I can be sitting on the couch, just chilling, and then just move around. What if I play Metroid Prime 4 that way? Interesting. Interesting. I didn't think it because I was like, it's not going to make sense to use a mouse on my lap, but no. They might have cracked the code. So I think that's going to be my main thing with Metroid Prime 4 is seeing if I can get away playing the game very comfortably and fun, mouse on the couch. That'd be pretty neat. So, and that's the other thing. There's rumors. Is this related? There's rumors of a Nintendo Direct that's supposed to be this month, and there's only a couple days left, but that happens usually. And then usually by Thursday or Friday, they'll have the Direct or whenever. Wait, 30, 31st. Yeah, so that's Wednesday, Thursday. And I don't know. I mean, the rumor is that they might announce a release date for Metroid Prime 4 to be September. And that seems really close, but that also seems to make sense because by then people are going to be done with Donkey Kong Bonanza. And so I think that's a good cadence of releases. Plus, I think it was in the UK somewhere, maybe London more specifically, like in the underground tunnel system, they had accidentally put up a banner for Metroid Prime 4 saying now available. And that just seems so sudden that it makes me think, yes, it's actually going to come out here pretty soon. Now, I will say that I played through and beat the first Metroid Prime game, but I didn't think it was anything amazing, and I don't know how much of that was. By the time Metroid Prime came out, I was the type of gamer that was also playing a lot of PC, Xbox. I was a huge Metroid fan, so when I get to Metroid Prime, it's not the side scroller exploration game anymore. It's a first person exploration, but it was still it had some linearity to it, and I feel like while that was a fun game, it was not what I had hoped for, and that's okay. They've come out with that remaster I've been wanting to play, and I'd like to go back and try that because it could be that I'm more into that nowadays. I so Metroid Prime 4 though, I I really want to play. I was just remembering like who's developing it and how Nintendo relegates some of that stuff. Again, it's like, those Donkey Kong Bonanza devs that are your main team that did Mario Odyssey, have them make a Metroid game. They're not going to do that, but that's what Nintendo should be doing with each of their properties. I would say when it comes to, I think Sakurai is the main guy on Kirby. Those Kirby games are always good, in my opinion. I didn't beat the Forgotten Lands, the one that came out, the last one that came out, right? Yeah, because the Return to Dreamland remake was before that. And then in August, so here pretty soon, there's going to be that update for Switch 2 owners for the Kirby Forgotten Lands. It's going to get an upgrade. It's going to get some new stuff. And this could be part of the Nintendo Direct, because I think they already announced it. The Kirby Planet Robobot, which I played and beat on 3DS. Love that game because it's all about being in mechs. Unless it's just one mech that I'm in all the time. No, I think it's a series of mechs. But anyway, fun game. I would love to replay that on Switch 2. Switch 2. I'm sure it's going to be one of those cross releases. Okay, let's look at this other one. Okay, Nico Partners predicts a 2.3% fall in East Asia video game market in 2025. But the market is expected to rebound. So I wonder where they're getting that from. Predicts the firm has been, according to the blah, 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 the East Asia region generated 29.1 billion games of revenue, 2024, down 3.1, and will decline. Okay, so they're saying that this is due to a combination of weakened currencies against the US dollar and an economic slowdown in the face of ongoing global trade issues. Yeah, I think there's reverberations of just all of the things that happen. I mean, especially the world was in on the COVID thing. Everyone was either suffering from it or taking advantage of it, especially in that area. Let's make all these games. And I think the percentage drop is in line with of a buffer zone, so to speak, of what would have been gained during COVID, and then that is going to kind of go away, but it's still going to grow. But then we're talking about more people introduced into the market. Okay, so East Asia gamer behavior and market insights. So, what does this mean? So when it says East Asia, it makes me think it is mainly talking about Japan. Could it be specifically like Korea too, and China, but East China or all China? So just going through this, East Asia gaming market behavior insights enhance enjoyment. What does that mean? Strongest motivator for spending faster. For in-game spending, enhanced enjoyment over faster leveling. I never really thought about that before. I mean, what would you spend that enhances your enjoyment unless the faster leveling does that? I don't know. Localization insights, 67% of Japanese gamers prefer anime manga art style in games. Wow, that's a big one. But also, I think that guy just kind of makes sense, since that was kind of foundational for a lot of cultural storytelling and even early video. I mean, anime is really just manga animated. And then video games is really just, again, anime or manga that's trying to fit in pixels. So that totally makes sense. 46% prefer stereotypical portrayals, inaccurate depictions, but I don't know what that means. How are you in Korea are more critical, of poor cultural and language localization quality in games. Interesting. So here's another thing. When it's showing those little temples, or I think there's a specific term for shrines. I mean, I wonder if that's supposed to be specific or something, or they're just culturally appropriating symbols in this now. Let's see. Yeah, so it's interesting that it's really just Japan and Korea, has nothing to do with China. Let's see. Gamers are individuals who have played on a PC, mobile, or console for a minimum of 60 minutes in the past 30 days. That's interesting. 60 minutes in 30 days. Because I've gotten plenty of times where I've only played a game for like 20 minutes and then moved on and then played it again 20 minutes. And so, but 30 days, I don't know if that's really a gamer or just, someone that just wants to play a game every once in a while. Like, if I watch 60 minutes of Love Island, which I haven't, in 30 days, that doesn't mean I'm a Love Island aficionado. I mean, I watched Superman, and that was 2 hours. But I'm not a comic book fan or Superman fan. So anyway, this thing for gamers is weird. Okay, hardcore gamers are individuals who play games for 21 to 30 hours per week. And that makes sense. That makes sense. I consider that hardcore, 21 to 30 hours per week. If I consider when I got Donkey Kong Bonanza and I beat it a week and a couple days later, and that took me about 20 something hours, and I played a little bit of other games in between that. So, yeah. And then live streaming, a live broadcasting game, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, I don't know if that really means anything much, maybe because just normal economic downturn and not necessarily anything to do with gaming. But it was kind of interesting. Love Island explained when. It was just kind of interesting to go through that stuff because being here in the U.S. and then looking at what happens in the U.S., I'm not too sure what goes on other places, even though a lot of my favorite games come from other places like Japan. I think China counts as its own designated market. I think you're right. Even you're looking at that, it didn't show it. And I feel like in general, when we talk video games, it's talked in that way. Anime manga art style can create way more distinctive and memorable characters, designs worlds more easily than other art styles, I feel. I agree. You would like to see which hero I assign each mobile suit. Well, let's see. I think that's it, actually. Yeah, I'm past time. I got to get to work. It was fun chatting. I said I was going to play that 80s Overdrive, but that's usually if there's just time, and if that game is not really amazing to show off, but it's a fun game. So, I'm going to head out. This was a lot of fun. We'll talk again tomorrow. Peace out.